Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about your gut and what happens to it when you take antibiotics. So whether or not you have an autoimmune disease, chronic illness, whatever, the majority of us have been on antibiotics in some form or another. If you guys have seen any of my other gut-related videos, you would know that your gut lining is extremely sensitive and it can be broken down with too much stress, too much sugar, too much alcohol. And if you have a lot of these things in your diet that don't necessarily help the health of your gut lining, then that could really affect the bacterial growth within your stomach. And it's important to remember that you have good bacteria that helps aid digestion, and then you also have bad bacteria that could mess with your immune system or give you a serious infection like C. diff, which is like one of the worst bacterial infections in your intestines. When you are consuming things that are really high in sugar, for example, it messes with the ecosystem within your stomach, and so you might be harming the good bacteria and allowing the bad bacteria to flourish. When it comes to antibiotics, that's where it can kind of just take over and clean out everything. So this video is about being preventative, but also dealing with your bacteria after you're done with antibiotics. So when you're on antibiotics, based off of the strength of the antibiotics, they could be pretty mild in dealing with whatever bacterial infection you have, but if you have an autoimmune disease or have Crohn's disease, they're typically pretty strong and they could just clean out your bacteria. There was a study done in Copenhagen. Do you say Copenhagen or Copenhagen? Because I've heard it both ways and I've been told that Copenhagen is the correct way to say it. But I don't know, is it the first one or the second one? But anyway, there was a study done at the University of Copenhagen where they took a bunch of men, so none of the study was on women, of course. So there was a study done at University of Copenhagen where the researchers took a bunch of men ranging in age, activity level, diet, and gave them the 3 most common antibiotics for 4 days. And within those 4 days, they found that all of their bacteria within their gut was completely eradicated. The researchers continued testing these men for several months post the antibiotics and saw that 6 months after taking antibiotics with no other intervention, they just continued on with their diet, no other intervention, 6 months after taking those antibiotics for 4 days, that's when they started to see that some of the bacteria was growing back. However, even then, they were still missing 9 main bacteria to help aid digestion. 6 months after that, the good bacteria was not developing, and there were signs of colonizations of bad bacteria. So whether or not you have a chronic illness, taking antibiotics at some point in your life is inevitable, and there are a bunch of tips I have that could prevent losing all of your good bacteria. Tip number 1, increase your zinc. So if you have had a cold or a flu, which obviously I'm sure you've had, those medications typically have high amounts of zinc, which is really good in promoting good bacteria and helping them thrive, and your immune system relies heavily on zinc to be a happy functioning immune system. Instead of taking a zinc supplement, if you are going to take a zinc supplement, talk to your doctor about that because that might be a little too much. My recommendation is to try to get more zinc from your food, so that could be eating liver or lamb. Liver and lamb have been shown to have a lot of zinc within them, and they help produce digestive enzymes. Tip number 2, if you have seen my video about what to eat when you have Crohn's disease, I really push bone broth, and I'm going to do it again because bone broth has a lot of glutamine, which helps protect your gut lining. If you have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, any other form of a serious gut thing, you are definitely prone to having tears within your gut linings, having bacteria flow throughout your system, which is just not good. Seriously, like you have pools of bacteria within your stomach, and so having a good source of glutamine through bone broth will really help protect your intestinal lining, so it will prevent you from having bacteria spread from one section to another. Protecting your gut lining will also prevent any fecal matter or bacteria getting through your gut lining and entering your bloodstream, all of that nasty stuff where the bacteria could spread throughout your whole body. Number 3 is to increase your magnesium, and I think this can go a few ways. For example, I like putting magnesium in my tub water so that when I take a bath it absorbs through my skin, and there's a bunch of studies that if you live near ocean, taking an ocean swim before you go to bed really helps you get a good night's sleep because you absorb magnesium through your skin. That's personally how I like to do it. I also take magnesium supplements, but magnesium is really good for balancing the acid within your body. If you have too much acid, that could irritate your gut lining. And the last but not least, I'm going to scream this from the mountaintops. You'll get sick of me from hearing it, but take your pre and probiotics. So if you think about the study done at University of Copenhagen where they did antibiotics for 4 days and all of their bacteria was completely eradicated, there was another study done. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll list it in the description bar. But this research found that if you are taking probiotics while you're taking antibiotics, it decreased the risk of losing all of your bacteria by 60%. You know, I got some recommendations. I have shared this particular product, Hyperbionix Pro 15, Hyperbionix Pro 15 formula a few times on my channel, and I'm not going to stop. They're not promoting me because I have 20 subscribers. Nobody cares who I am, but I'm telling you that this is legit and this is the good stuff, okay? I have taken multiple probiotics from the drugstore, I guess. Like I know Align is one of them, and there are a few other ones that just did not do it for me. I just felt like nothing was happening. This though, I truly feel like I am a new person, and I have another product from them. So if you have been on antibiotics or have been in a hospital for a very long time, I'm telling you, you need to have prebiotics into your system. I will do a whole video dedicated to pre and probiotics, the differences and why you need both of them. But if you have just been out of the hospital or are on antibiotics, I seriously think that you need to be on prebiotics, because prebiotics is essentially the fertilizer in order for the good bacteria to grow, and probiotics give your body that good bacteria. So they kind of go hand in hand. I do not think you need to be on prebiotics every single day. I do recommend probiotics every single day, but for prebiotics, I think it's really good to have if you are chronically ill, because this is something that you can just put in your water, mix it up, put it in your smoothies, whatever, and this will help your stomach rebuild itself after being in a hospital stay, after being on all these different medications. It will help lay the groundwork for good bacteria to grow. And so I highly recommend taking this along with this for maybe about a week, and then just stop this. Obviously you want to speak to your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. There's no harm in taking these things, and I will do a full video about pre and probiotics soon. Another thing when it comes to fighting off antibiotic symptoms, situations, is to increase your natural fiber. However, if you're on probiotics, they are filled with good fiber, so you don't really need to worry about that. I'm telling you guys, just listen to me, take your probiotics. Oh my God. I've had so many doctors tell me to take my probiotics, and you know, I was just using drugstore brands and they never really affected me, so I thought it was just a waste of money until I found these guys, and I'm telling you that they are legit and they have truly just changed my life, and I will always repurchase from them, and they are more affordable. Also, like, this brand specifically is more affordable than anything you would find at the drugstore, and it's legit, okay? If you guys have been on a lot of antibiotics and have struggled with it, let me know what you guys have done to combat that, whether it's any of my tips that you guys already figured out, or if you guys have something that I never even thought of. If you could just answer that question, leave it in the comment section below. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, you are never alone, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.